Hey all you Minnesota Skinnies, this is Conman 101, and welcome to Friday's March Madness analysis. I really wish I would have been able to break down the Thursday games, but unfortunately I had some things going on. But I'm extremely excited about these four games that are coming up today. And I'm extremely pumped about the UCLA versus Kentucky game. It's supposed to be like the biggest game of the whole tournament and like a historic game. So I'm actually going over to my friend's house. Like 6 of us are going over to kind of watch that game, having a little viewing party. So I'm gonna try to get this video out like as soon as possible, as soon as I'm done editing this. But yeah, the 4 games last night were unbelievable. Like, I have Oregon in the Final Four and I have Gonzaga winning the whole thing. So you guys could probably tell that the games last night were very stressful for me. If none of you watched those games, those were some good games, like some seriously good games. So Oregon was down by 3 with 2 minutes left, and Gonzaga was down by 3 with like a minute left. Gonzaga ended up winning by, what was it, 3 points? And Oregon ended up winning by 1. And Walton for Michigan actually put up a shot that almost went in at the very end of the game. So those 2 games were definitely very nerve-wracking. And then Kansas was just a total blowout like everyone expected. And the really exciting game and the really surprising game was Xavier beating Arizona. And of course that's good for me because I have Gonzaga beating Arizona. Gonzaga is going to just demolish Xavier, but that was a big game. Like, no one expected that to happen. I think they said like 1.5 people predicted Xavier beating Arizona in that game. So those were some really big games yesterday, but let's get into the analysis of today's games. I'm just going to start with the 2 earlier games and then go to the 2 later games. So first game is North Carolina versus Butler. Now, I think this is the easiest game for me to pick. Butler really, I don't really think that they're that good of a team. You know, they have a solid defense, but their offense, like they can't really get a lot of rebounds. They give up a lot of turnovers, which is also a very big issue. So I think that North Carolina is going to roll over Butler. I mean, as far as my bracket goes, I really wish that Butler could beat North Carolina, because then I'd be one of the 2 teams that had a championship team left in my group bracket I have with my friends. So I hope North Carolina loses, but the thing that makes the most sense by a long shot is that I pick North Carolina to win. I think this is going to be a fairly low-scoring game, so I'm going to go with 74-68, the final score. That's giving the Butler a little more leeway, but I mean, usually the predictions are pretty close. So next we have Baylor versus South Carolina. Now, this is kind of a one-hit wonder deal for me, because I feel like South Carolina and Baylor, South Carolina didn't play the best against Marquette, to be honest. In my opinion, I think Marquette just played a terrible game, and that's why South Carolina won by as much as they did. I don't think South Carolina did a very good job against Marquette. Again, I think it's just Marquette was terrible that game, and that's what reflected the double-digit total that ended up happening between the 2 teams. So the big upset against Duke, I really don't think means that much. It's a one-hit wonder deal, as I said before. The same thing happened with Michigan. They ended up going and losing to Oregon. You know, I think that once you beat a 2 seed, you get too cocky. You think, hey, I can beat a 3 seed. You overthink it and you end up losing. So that's why I pick Baylor to beat South Carolina. Again, I hope that South Carolina wins, because I had Baylor losing the round before, and if they keep winning, it's bad for my bracket. But again, I picked Baylor to win, and I'm going to say this one's going to be a little higher scoring. I'm going to say 83-76. So now for the big game, Kentucky versus UCLA. Now, my friends and I have been like back and forth debating against this. It's a 3 seed versus a 2 seed, and there are no odds. I looked on 3 different sites, and the PK was there for odds, which means it's literally going to be a tied projection. These two teams could not be closer to each other, and I think it's going to be an amazing game going to the last few seconds. I think it's going to be a very close game, and I know not many people are going to agree with me on this. I'm picking UCLA, and that's for one reason: Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is just phenomenal. It's kind of unfortunate that LeVar Ball, his dad, has been stirring up all this drama and stuff. He doesn't really deserve that, but he is an unbelievable player, and people say that if Kentucky just kind of double teams Lonzo, I mean, UCLA is going to have someone open every time, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. But the main reason I think that UCLA is going to win is because Kentucky has a history of not getting very many points at the beginning, kind of falling behind the other team and then just easily coming back and winning. This happened versus Wichita State, in which they ended up only winning by 3. And this is why I think Kentucky is not going to get past UCLA, because these teams, I'm not saying that Wichita State is a bad team, but I'm just saying stronger teams will not put up with Kentucky coming back after those big deficits, especially since UCLA is the top scoring team in this tournament right now. They are arguably the best offensive team in the whole tournament, so they're not going to give up turnovers against Kentucky and allow them to come back. I think that if UCLA gets a considerable lead against Kentucky, they're going to keep it throughout the game, and that's why I say UCLA is going to win. This is going to be a super high scoring one. I'm going to say 91-87 is going to be the final score. UCLA is going to hold off Kentucky. Finally, there's Wisconsin against Florida. I think this is going to be a tough game. Florida is doing an amazing job right now. They were kind of the outcasts, and they were expected to lose against Virginia, and they did a very, very good job against Virginia, and they just demolished Virginia, actually. I'd never expected that to happen, but Wisconsin is kind of the Cinderella team. These kinds of teams tend to make it farther in the tournament. Wisconsin played the 1 seed, and they beat the 1 seed, Villanova, and beating a 1 seed isn't really the same thing as beating a 2 seed. It's a whole different level. Villanova was expected to be in the Final Four in a lot of brackets. I know that busted my bracket a lot, but I say that Wisconsin's going to win this one. As much as I hate to say it, being a Minnesota fan, but I do think they're going to win this game. They have the talent, and their defense is swarming sometimes, and they're just able to get past teams like this. They're just extremely lucky, which I find very annoying, to be honest. They get lucky with these kinds of games. I think they're going to fall behind and then just ever so slightly come back until they hit a 3 with however many seconds left, and they're going to end up winning somehow or another. So they'll find a way to win. So I say Florida is going to win 80-79 against Florida. I think it's going to be a very close game. So those are my March Madness predictions for today. I'll try to get my Elite 8 games out as soon as these ones end. I'll try to get those out on Saturday. I might not have time to, though. I might just make like a picture montage kind of video instead of an actual video, like a sit-down video, because I might be in the car a lot. I'm going to be going places on that day, so I'll have to see what I can do. But thank you guys so much for watching this predictions video. Again, I'm very excited for the March Madness tournament to come to a close here. Well, not come to a close. There's still a lot of great games left. Really excited for UCLA to beat Kentucky. That's right, I said that. But that's just going to be a really exciting game. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please follow my Instagram _conman101 for more updates on when my videos are out. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you on the flip side.